Valentine's Day, a time for love, devotion, and heartfelt gestures. But for one Illinois woman, February 14th, 2013, wasn't about chocolates or roses. It was about betrayal. Cold, calculated, and final. Denise Leuthold walked through the door of her Peoria home that afternoon, likely expecting nothing out of the ordinary. But within seconds, a single gunshot rang out. The 39-year-old mother barely had time to react before she collapsed, lifeless, still wrapped in her winter coat. Authorities initially thought she had interrupted a burglary, but as investigators peeled back the layers of this so-called crime, they discovered something far darker: a love triangle, a secret life, and a man willing to erase his own wife for a twisted, sinister version of happily ever after. And when the truth came out, it was even more chilling than anyone could have imagined. If stories of deception and justice captivate you, make sure to subscribe, because this case is just the beginning. Nathan and Denise Leuthold's love story seemed like something out of a wholesome Christian romance. Childhood sweethearts from a strict Baptist background, their love was nurtured within the walls of Faith Baptist Christian School in Illinois. Nathan had been smitten with Denise since the 3rd grade, captivated by her curly hair and infectious smile. By high school, their bond was undeniable. Denise's mother, Diane Newton, recalled how Nathan practically lived at their house, embedding himself into their family dynamic. When Denise left for college in Minnesota, Nathan followed, and before long they were engaged. The couple married in July 1995, and what followed appeared to be a picture-perfect life: ministry, family, and a shared devotion to faith. But beneath the surface, cracks were forming. Nathan felt a higher calling, not just to serve God, but to embark on a path that would uproot their lives. The newlyweds left Illinois and embarked on a missionary journey to Lithuania. For Nathan, it was purpose-driven. For Denise, it was sacrifice. She was supporting him, her mother later reflected. It wasn't really her calling. She was basically being a wife and a mother. Denise, a devoted mother of 3, found herself in an unfamiliar country, raising young children, while Nathan pursued his ministry. Though she adjusted, she wasn't truly at peace. And in Lithuania, amid their missionary work, they met someone who would change the course of their lives forever: Ina Dobalite, a young, talented Lithuanian woman with a love for music and an ever-growing closeness to Nathan. At first, she was nothing more than a trusted family friend, even a babysitter for the Leuthold children. But as the years went by, her role in Nathan's life took on a new, unsettling significance. And Denise, she saw it coming before anyone else. By 2010, the Leutholds had returned to the United States, and Nathan and Denise took on a new role, sponsoring Ina Dobalite's education in Florida. What seemed like an act of Christian generosity was, in reality, a well-disguised gateway for Nathan to grow even closer to the 20-year-old woman. To the outside world, they were just a missionary family helping a young student. But behind closed doors, Nathan's behavior raised questions Denise couldn't ignore. Nathan visited Ina often, traveling to Florida under the guise of mentorship. When she later transferred to a Christian college in Chicago, 160 miles away from the Leutholds' home, the visits didn't stop. Denise began to see the truth unraveling before her eyes. She found herself competing with a younger woman for her husband's attention. Except Nathan didn't seem interested in hiding it anymore. The evidence was undeniable. Nathan frequently paid for Ina's expenses, including luxurious spa visits. The owner of the spa later revealed that Nathan often accompanied Ina to her appointments, paying for her waxing services. A devout Baptist missionary secretly financing a 20-year-old woman's beauty treatments? It didn't add up. To make matters worse, Ina's own college had taken note of their relationship. School administrators confronted her about what they deemed an inappropriate dynamic between the two. As a result, Ina was asked to leave. Denise's heartbreak and humiliation were laid bare. She wasn't just being pushed aside, she was being erased. Denise put her pain into words in the form of a note she tucked into her planner, a note that would later serve as a damning insight into the suffering she endured. I have tried to please you for 17 years and never succeeded. I've never been good enough, never done enough. I know that you want me dead. I'm not stupid. She accused Nathan of deliberately humiliating her, parading his infatuation with Ina right in front of her. It was clear she feared for her life, and tragically, her fears were well-founded. Valentine's Day, 2013. While the world celebrated love, Denise Leuthold walked into her home, unaware that it would be her final moments. She had just returned from dropping off her youngest child at daycare. As she stepped inside, still wearing her coat and gloves, a gunshot rang out. A .40 caliber bullet tore through her skull. She collapsed at the entrance, her life extinguished in an instant. She never even had a chance to scream. Nathan Leuthold would later tell police that he arrived home that afternoon with their 4-year-old daughter in tow, only to find the garage door open and no car inside. Noticing broken glass near an exterior door, he claimed he feared a burglary had taken place. But instead of rushing inside to check on Denise, he drove to the neighbor's house and dialed 911. "We've got a break-in," he told the dispatcher. His voice was eerily calm. When police arrived, what they found painted a different picture. Denise was dead. Her body lay just steps inside the door, her car keys beneath her. The home appeared ransacked, but something wasn't right. If this was a burglary gone wrong, why had the intruder wasted time rummaging through kitchen drawers instead of grabbing valuables? Why had they taken only a few select pieces of jewelry while leaving behind expensive electronics in plain sight? And why would a burglar kill Denise execution style before leisurely searching for a spare set of car keys, only to drive her vehicle to a nearby park and leave it there? Then came the most damning clue. Nathan's .40 caliber Glock, the same type of gun used to kill Denise, was missing from its locked case. The case itself was also gone. "A burglar is not going to take a busted lockbox with them," one detective remarked. The so-called burglary was nothing more than an illusion. This was no random crime. This was calculated, planned, and all signs pointed to Nathan Leuthold. As investigators began piecing together the timeline of Denise Leuthold's murder, the so-called burglary quickly unraveled. The ransacked home was two-staged. The missing items, select pieces of jewelry, a digital camera, and a laptop, seemed almost hand-picked, but it was Nathan's behavior that truly set off alarms. When officers informed him of his wife's death, there was no visible grief, no shock, just an eerie calmness. He didn't act right, one detective later recalled. Then came the deeper, more disturbing discovery: the presence of Ina Dobalite. Nathan and Denise had known Ina since she was a young teenager. They had met her while working as missionaries in Lithuania, bringing her into their home as a babysitter and treating her like family. When Ina turned 18, Nathan sponsored her education in the U.S., enrolling her in a Florida college. But this was no ordinary student sponsorship. Nathan made frequent solo trips to visit Ina in Florida. He paid for her tuition, her living expenses, and even her waxing appointments at a local spa. "My stuff would be in the front yard if my wife found out I was waxing up a 20-year-old, one investigator said in disbelief. But Nathan and Ina insisted their relationship was not romantic. School records told a different story. Ina had been asked to leave the university because of her inappropriate relationship with Nathan. Hotel records showed overnight stays. And when Denise was murdered, Ina had been in Chicago, just 160 miles away. Her response to Nathan's claim that their house had been burglarized? Interesting. Forensic analysis of Nathan's online activity added even more suspicion. He had searched for how to silence a .40 caliber Glock, how to kill someone with poison, how to stage a burglary. Denise, too, had seen the writing on the wall. A note in her day planner, written before her death, was discovered among her belongings. I have tried to please you for 17 years and never succeeded. I've never been good enough. Never done enough. I know that you want me dead. I'm not stupid. This wasn't just a theory anymore. This was premeditated murder. Nathan was arrested 3 weeks later. Nathan Leuthold's trial in 2014 was nothing short of damning. The prosecution wasted no time in painting the picture of a cold, calculated murder. A carefully staged crime scene designed to look like a burglary gone wrong. Peoria County State's Attorney Jerry Brady stood before the jury and delivered the chilling truth. This was his Valentine's Day present to Anna. Prosecutors argued that Nathan had planned every detail, ensuring that he had an alibi, manipulating the timeline, and ultimately executing his wife in the comfort of her own home. They meticulously walked the jury through the damning evidence. The internet searches. Nathan had scoured the web for ways to kill someone with poison and silence a Glock handgun, the same weapon that was missing from the home. The burglary setup. Jewelry, a laptop, and other small items were taken, but expensive electronics remained untouched. Denise's chilling note, a direct acknowledgement of her husband's intentions, written in her own words. Nathan's behavior, a calculated and emotionless response to his wife's murder, as if he were going through the motions. Ina Dobilete's questionable involvement. A woman he had financially supported who showed no surprise at the alleged burglary, and who had been dismissed from college due to their inappropriate relationship. To drive the final nail in the coffin, the prosecution introduced one of Nathan's fellow inmates. The man claimed that Nathan had confessed to the crime in jail, describing how he had carefully planned everything. The jury deliberated for just 90 minutes. The verdict? Guilty. Nathan Leuthold was sentenced to 80 years in prison. Judge Kevin Lyons didn't hold back his disgust as he addressed Nathan in court. You will end your life in a cold and gray and isolated Illinois penitentiary, where you will be more of a number than a name. Nathan remained stoic, showing no reaction, even as his fate was sealed. Justice had been served, but Denise's family was left grappling with the painful reality. She was gone, stolen from them in a senseless act of betrayal. He robbed us of the rest of our daughter's life, her mother said in a heart-wrenching statement. Nathan had sacrificed everything, his marriage, his faith, his freedom, all for the illusion of a future with a woman who would later testify against him in court. But in the end, there was no escape. He had orchestrated the perfect crime, yet the truth was inescapable. With his conviction, the story came to a tragic close. But what remains is a painful lesson, a chilling reminder that sometimes the greatest betrayals don't come from strangers, but from the very people we trust the most. Denise Leuthold dedicated her life to her family, only to be repaid with cold-blooded murder. If you believe she deserved better, if you think justice was served, hit that subscribe button. Because the truth matters, and we're here to uncover it.